Hello again. So it's been over 6 months since I reviewed a Lamborghini and counting, and it's about time I come back to it. The evolution of Lamborghini Murciélago, an immediate successor to the Lamborghini Diablo, brings this video a sequel to Diablo's evolution video. The Murciélago is my all-time favorite V12 Lamborghini and one of my favorite Lambos as well. The Murciélago is one of the most iconic supercars ever made in the 2000s, with one of the best sounding naturally aspirated V12 engines ever made among other supercars from its era. The thing is, you won't be able to dispute this, that the Murciélago is one of the last most beloved, underrated, and modern classic supercars. The last old school Lamborghini, one of the very final analog supercars, and very important to remember, the Murciélago also happens to be the final Bizzarrini V12 engined Lamborghini with a manual transmission since the company's first car, the 350 GT. With that said, I think the Murci might be the prettiest Lambo being 20 years old since the legendary Miura. Beyond all that though, there are numerous reasons why this could be the best modern Lamborghini ever made and the closest V12 Lambo to appear like a very stylish bat before the Aventador. I am pumped to guide you through the full history and evolution of the Lambo Murciélago suggested by Chaos King in the comments from the Lambo Diablo Evolution video. Hey dude, if you still watching my channel and watching this video right now, I appreciate the suggestion and I did not forget. Let's get started. In the late 1990s, while the Lambo Diablo was still in production, Lamborghini needed assistance to push the development of their sports cars forward to the next level, and it was thanks to the ownership of Audi that they bought Lamborghini in 1998. The mission was to design a worthy successor to the Lambo Diablo. The new supercar had to be exciting, pleasing, but also safe and ergonomic. In 1996, several years after Guidini's Diablo proposal P132 prototype had been set aside by Chrysler, he was called back by Lamborghini to create an update on the Diablo SV's chassis. He came up with the A Costa concept. Then in 1997, the company teamed up with Assetto, who designed both the Raptor concept and what was supposed to be Diablo's successor, the Cento. Then after Audi acquired Lamborghini, Audi commanded Lamborghini to drop both Guidini's and Assetto's concept designs proposals for the Diablo successor to make a new interpretation of the Murciélago. So they started again from scratch to design the car that was done by a Belgian designer, Luc Donkerwolke, resulting in the eventual Murciélago. Audi's first Lamborghini they worked on was the final iterations of the 2000 Diablo 6.0 and the GT model to help improve refining their materials, reshaping the car by increasing the engine performance and added aerodynamics. Then in September 2001, the Murciélago finally arrived as a hardtop coupe and debuted at the Frankfurt Motor Show as the first Lamborghini fully developed by the Volkswagen Group and the first to launch under the ownership of Audi. The car was first sold in North America in 2002 and was a huge hit for Lamborghini as a worthy feat for years. At that time, most journalists considered the Murci too modern and too German, and the styling was done by a Belgian designer and not by an Italian designer anymore. But in reality, it was the perfect blend and still was dependable, beautiful, and dramatic. The styling of the Murciélago, or known as Murciélago VT, could be seen as an evolution of the final Diablo model, but it's visible this had a completely new body and interior, featured a very clean design, and still used the wedge-shaped body style as the Lambo Countach, with the cockpit integrated into the overall body. Very angular lines, especially at the front, with the edges and scissor doors, and turned out to be the most desirable looking car of the time. It has various air intakes and outlets to cool the massive brakes and a fabulous V12 engine. The first Murci would have used the same 6-liter V12 found in the Diablo 6.0 VT, but instead they increased the displacement to 6.2-liter V12 exclusively for the Murciélago VT. The engine, including everything, was new. The V12 engine was capable of producing 580 brake horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque to all four wheels right out the gate, and all-wheel drive remained for the rest of the Murci's 9-year production run. The car tested from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 3.6 seconds and onto a top speed of 205 miles per hour and revs up to 7,500 RPM. The Murci is the first Lamborghini equipped with a 6-speed manual and with the E-gear automatic gearbox system. Also, one cool, intriguing fact is that this OG Murciélago marked the flagship car of the video racing game Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 that came out in 2002 when the car was brand new and lives up to childhood intentions and memories, just like the Diablo. Beyond that, if you grew up between the 1990s to early 2000s like me and were a fan of cars as a kid or teenager, you certainly glimpse a huge shift of a new generation of top-flight supercars after the 21st century struck. The Murciélago rubbed shoulders with many supercars in 2001 and beyond. The first Pagani Zonda, Celine S7, Enzo Ferrari, Ford GT, Porsche Carrera GT, Mercedes McLaren SLR, including the first Koenigsegg, all came out very close and around the same time next to the Murciélago. I mean, come on, the 2000s is still the best era of supercars after the 1990s. In 2003, Lamborghini released the first limited edition of the Murci to celebrate the 40th anniversary of their automotive company, and only 50 units were built. The enhancements over the standard car included a limited edition blue color called Verde Artemis, carbon fiber exterior detailing, upgraded wheels, and a revamped exhaust system. The interior also featured unique leather trim too. During the same year, Lamborghini introduced the Gallardo as the Murciélago's baby brother. After that, the Murciélago RGT was the first Murci race car based on a street car, which was introduced at the 2003 Frankfurt Motor Show. It was mainly built for motorsport purpose to compete in the FIA GT and the American Le Mans Series for the 2004 season. The RGT has an air-restricted 6-liter naturally aspirated V12 engine derived from the Diablo GTR race car, but more closely based on a 6.2-liter V12 from the Murciélago road car. The engine was tuned and modified to comply with the race rules, making 590 brake horsepower at 6,300 RPM and 523 pound-feet of torque at 5K RPM. That's 10 more horsepower than a street car, gets a carbon front splitter with a large rear wing, rear diffuser, dual tip exhaust, raised brakes inside the wheel, and a racing interior. Instead of VT all-wheel drive, it has been replaced with rear-wheel drive only, and a 6-speed sequential gearbox for FIA regulations. Altogether makes the total weight 2,425 pounds. By 2004, Lamborghini came out with the first Murciélago Roadster after revealing a concept version in 2003. This is an exceptional, unique model in many ways, and because of its open-top design for the warm seasons, you'll enjoy more of the incredible engine sound note with the convertible. Besides that, the features remain the same as the initial coupe version, the same 580 brake horsepower with the same top speed. In addition, the Murci Roadster was used in the 2005 movie film Batman Begins, and the Murci LP640 was used in the sequel to Dark Knight. I mention the cars shown in the movie because it's obvious why Lamborghini used the Murciélago name as a reference to bat in Spanish. Well, the Murciélago has scissor doors, and when the car is traveling at high speeds, the electronic vent flaps opens up, and the fact that they were called bat wings because they appeared like bat wings. Plus, the car looks like a Batmobile in the color black, so it suited the Batman movies. Great idea, Lamborghini. For 2006, the Murciélago moved onto the second phase in its mid-production cycle. It received major updates and significant changes that included a differently oriented engine, more power, and an updated exterior. The result was the Murciélago LP640, a much better version of the initial Murciélago. The exterior also received a facelift as the air intakes were made better and the front and rear fascias were revised and improved. Other changes contained revised programming, a new interior design, a new single outlet exhaust system, and a revised suspension. The engine displacement was enlarged from 6.2 liter to 6.5 liter V12 to improve power. The LP640 generates 60 more horsepower than the regular Murciélago. The 640 in the name represents the horsepower that the engine makes, 640 brake horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque, and will rev up to 8,000 RPM respectively. It still had a 6-speed manual and an upgraded clutch for the 6-speed E-gear automated manual. It'll do 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.4 seconds and reach the top speed of 205 miles per hour as a result. The LP640 Roadster version was announced at the Los Angeles Auto Show in 2006, followed by a special limited edition LP640 Versace with only 20 units built. Before we continue the Murciélago lineage, Lamborghini made something special, a retro-style Lamborghini Miura concept car. Yes, this isn't the Murciélago, but this has relative characteristics of the Murciélago. Can I just say how sexy and attractive this Miura concept car looks as modernized for 2006. This car is based on the Murci LP640 underpinnings like the chassis, the 6.5 liter V12 engine with styling cues from the original Miura to commemorate the 40th anniversary of the Miura from 1966. But sadly, the car never entered production and I very much wish it did. Then in 2007, the Lamborghini Reventón debuted at the Frankfurt Auto Show. Only 21 units have been made worldwide, making this model extremely rare to find. The Reventón brings a body design closer to the Murciélago because it's essentially a modified version of the Murciélago. The mechanical underpinnings including the engine are sourced directly from the Murci LP640. The Reventón's carbon fiber exterior and interior styling were inspired by stealth fighter design, taking cues from an aircraft such as the F-22 Raptor. The Reventón styling cues exhibit a preview of what the Murci successor will look like, supposedly the Aventador. The car has 650 brake horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque and has a top speed of 211 miles per hour, making it the fastest Lamborghini for only a few years. Fast forward to 2009, Lamborghini released a limited run update of the Murci LP654 Roadster of 50 units ever made. It was only available in gray with orange highlights inside and out of the car. The car's name enhanced the engine horsepower. And finally, at the 2009 Geneva show, Lamborghini unveiled the third final phase and the ultimate high-performance version of the Murciélago, the LP674 SV or SuperVeloce. They resurrected and brought back the SV name that last appeared on the Diablo SV and Miura SV. The car is simply known as the Murciélago SV. One of the last true Lamborghinis ever to leave Sant'Agata Bolognese, Italy. Limited to just 186 units worldwide. The Murci SV was the baddest of all raging bulls until the new era of the V12 Aventador came out and Lamborghini was already developing the Aventador after the Reventón. What makes the Murci SV special is the notable feature SV decal, the orange body color which had carbon fiber that resulted in 220 pounds lighter than the LP640. A carbon wing with a carbon rear diffuser, front splitter extended for improved downforce, and the air intakes were made better and bigger for brake cooling. The engine cover consisted of triple hexagonal plexiglass plates. The 6.5 liter V12 made 670 brake horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque, made it to a 6-speed E-gear automated or manual gearbox. As a result of the weight loss, the SV managed to hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3 seconds. I repeat, just 3 seconds, and claims an astonishing top speed of 213 miles per hour. The Murci SV was the most powerful and the fastest freaking Lamborghini in the world, and 12 years later is still not far behind with today's supercar standards. The roar of the Bizzarrini V12 was the last ever heard of this beauty and it will never be forgotten. And that's why the Murci SV is my favorite Murciélago out of the whole lineup. When the Murciélago wrapped up production in November 2010, a total of 4,099 units were built in over 9 years, making it one of the most successful Lamborghinis ever built. After all, the Lamborghini Murciélago is one of the most extraordinary supercars of all time and came in 3 major iterations, plus the race car variants were a huge success in motorsports. The Murci is the type of Lamborghini that continues to stand out, not only because of its known traits but also for the fact that this raging bull was the pinnacle of old school and modern. The new Lambos like the Aventador and the Hurricane are awesome in their own unique ways, but the Murciélago was nothing like its predecessors and was Lamborghini's fresh new design after 11 years of replacing the Diablo. The transition was beautifully done as the designer made sure to include both the modern and futuristic makeup, along with old school vibes. The scissor doors, wide and wedged design, the heart of the iconic Bizzarrini V12 that was used for 47 years, the bat wings and manual transmission are commonly defined to the Lamborghinis of all ages, challenged upon with a variety of 2000s supercars. Of all this made sure that the Murciélago go down in history as one of the best supercars of all time in its thriving popularity. And now, that's a wrap. So, I hope you guys really did sit back and relax and enjoy this epic video of the history and evolution of the Lamborghini Murciélago and everything you need to know about this Murciélago. If you so did enjoy this video, don't forget to click to subscribe and hit the like button for some more upcoming videos. And like I say every time, you are more than happy to give me any car suggestions in the comments down below as you have been. And if you've never seen the predecessor video, I'll put the link in the description down below. What do you think was the best Murciélago? Peace out, stay safe, Chris the Radar, out. And I also want to add, thanks for helping me reach 200 subscribers, and I thank you all for the support in my YouTube channel.